turn the heat down. It's fucking warm as hell.
Is it warm out there? Welcome to the Movie Epidemic podcast. This is episode 115. This is the bang-isode.
Bang-isode, baby!
You can't kill the Movie Epidemic podcast. We bad bitches. Well, I'm your host, Buck Hollywood LeDuc. As always, I am joined by Chadley J. Fox.
Hey!
We are killing it out here. Episodes every week. You know where to find them. YouTube.com/punchnerds. Here's the thing about our YouTube channel. We're about to be released from Disney. We got fired by Disney. So at the end of the month, we will no longer be under the Disney umbrella. And that's fine because now we can say whatever the fuck we want. So
the good news is I never want to watch a Marvel movie again. So now we don't gotta. What was I about to say? Right. In
case people don't know, Disney's shutting down their YouTube arm and letting go about 50,000 YouTube channels, and we just happen to be one of them. So,
well, God bless to us. What was I gonna say? Right. So I had this crazy week. I had this crazy story, and I don't want to explain the whole thing, but like what I will let you know is that like at the end of it, I was stark naked, just like in the middle of a club. At this point, like, I don't want to explain how I got to that position, but at this point, I'm nervous. You know, I'm sweating. I'm uncomfortable. People are kind of laughing because, you know, I do got a really small dick, but like people are pointing, people are laughing. And just to make matters worse, what the fuck do I hear someone say out of the corner of my ear? I'm Desmond Doss. Oh, I was fucking pissed. Somebody dossed me in public. Buck. When I was stark.
Okay, you say you don't want to get into it, but I need to know.
Hey man, like I think some things just need to be kept secret. All right, maybe not stark naked. I probably still had socks and shoes on, but that I cannot, for legal reasons, I cannot go further. As well as personal reasons. I think that's one I want to keep to myself.
All right.
Stark naked though. Stark.
That's crazy. That's a crazy story. All right.
Full floppy too. Full floppy.
Yeah, well, that's our move though, as dudes with like medium to small penises. Like you every time someone asks, you just say that you have a very small penis. So when they see it, they're like, it's not as small as he said. It is small, but yeah, like it's not as small as he said. So it's like they're not completely shocked.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the move. Any listeners that I'm sure we have a lot of listeners with small penises. No offense to our listeners, but like
no, absolutely not.
You just seem like the kind of people that would have small penises. Bring up to a girl.
Nothing wrong with having a small penis.
Absolutely no. Bring up to a girl that you have a very small penis. Like make it seem like it's like a micro penis. And then when she finally sees it, not that shocked. All right. That's the move. I've been doing it for years.
So if you found the last conversation we just had grotesque as hell, you might not want to listen to this episode because over here at Movie Epidemic, Buck and I have been talking recently about how we think, like listening back to episodes, we think we curse too much. So we're trying to settle down the use of the F word and the use of curse words. But this week it's gonna be hard because every movie we're talking about is about fucking people.
So much.
People just fucking each other. It's crazy. This is the bang-isode. We're talking about movies, Passengers, Chronicles of Riddick. We're doing top 5 sex scenes in movies, and we're gonna be topping it off with 50 Shades Darker. That's gonna be absolutely fantastic. Why don't we start off with Passengers? I got a lot to say about this movie. Would you think of this?
Absolutely. Oh man, this is one of those movies. I've seen this about 4 times now. Not even joking. The first time I saw it in theaters, and it's a beautiful movie. It really is.
It looks good, yeah.
It fucking makes no sense whatsoever, though. But for some reason, I kind of love it.
See, I think I like this. We're gonna have a dynamic today because I abhor this film. I absolutely hated this. I can't believe anybody liked it. But
I am the only person in the world that likes it, and I completely accept that.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing. Here's the crazy thing about Passengers is for the first 40 minutes, it kind of feels like it's going to be a good movie.
Yeah.
And then
it tricks you.
And then it rolls out of control. It just has downward spiral from there. Like as soon as Lawrence Fishburne walks in, I'm like, all right, I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, that's, to be fair, that is not till an hour and 20 minutes into the film. This is a long fucking movie, but
yeah, it's like 2 hours 20, wasn't it? Like it was pretty long.
It's long, dude. So basically, for the first half, really, it is Chris Pratt running around a space station. His pod opens too early on their whatever it is, 120-year trip to Earth Part Two. And his pod opens up, and he, for some reason, finds this place to be unbearable. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, Chadley.
Yo, it's a mansion.
Giant place, got it all to yourself, unlimited free black coffee, unlimited liquor, a movie theater that has no one in it, and you can just fuck around until you die. To me, that is paradise. I don't need to crack open Jennifer Lawrence. I'll crank down in a movie theater.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll crank down watching 50 Shades Darker. I don't give a shit. I'll crank down watching The Handmaiden, dude. I maybe already did that at home anyways.
You know how much I would kill to be not on this planet, Chadley, in space by myself? Like, there's all these movies about people losing their mind in cabin fever. I don't get that. I strive by myself. I love reading Dune in its entirety. Sometimes I'll just like take a weekend and be like, yo, I'm reading Dune in its entirety. And then my roommate's like, that's exactly why you're not in a relationship, because no one would stand for that. Yeah, I just want to I want to do nothing and read Dune for an entire weekend.
I can vouch for that information. My wife would never let me just read Dune for a weekend.
That's the kind of person I am. And to be in space, oh, that makes it even better. That's my ideal fantasy.
It's always night. Like that's the best part. It's always night. So you can go to bed literally at all times.
Doesn't matter. You live in a mansion in space.
Yeah,
fucking beautiful.
You live in a fucking something that's like the size of like 900 mansions stapled together. It's craziness. So, what happens is that this movie, you have Chris Pratt, and he sort of gets cabin fever. He lives in this thing by himself for a year. By himself, and then he starts going crazy.
Long, honestly, not that long. But even Lawrence Fishburne mentions that, and he's like, "Oh, a year, all right, fucked up, dude. It's pretty fucked up."
He's like, "A year? I mean, all right." So he lives in there for a year, and then he's like walking by one of these pods one day, and he sees Jennifer Lawrence, and you know exactly what he's thinking, right? He was like, "I saw the leaked nudes, so kind of want to get in on that, right?"
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure saw the Jennifer Lawrence leaked nudes. So he's basically spends like a few months deciding whether or not he wants to crack open her pod and then be like, oh, it was also a malfunction on your pod's behalf. Mm-hmm. You know?
My favorite character in this film is the Michael Sheen android, because he takes on an actual character arc, which is bizarre to me, because he's not a main character, but he becomes the protagonist in a movie that has very little stakes. So, and he also becomes
maybe no stakes.
There's no stakes. Okay, there's no stakes. Sure, doesn't matter really. The triteness is why I love it, though, is that there is no stakes. It's Stockholm Syndrome, the movie. It's a fucking, I love bananas. I love bananas blockbusters. And like that. Oh,
and this one is wacky as fuck, dude.
That is very clear. You're not so much big on this, but to me, when I see a blockbuster, I pay fucking $12 to go to the movie theater, and it's a blockbuster. It's not a festival film. Dude, I want it to be wild. I want to be confused to why it was made, and this is that movie. I have no idea why they made this movie, because it looks amazing. Like, it actually looks amazing.
Yeah, visuals are incredible. Yeah, I'll agree.
It looks better than Gravity. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It looks so good, and then it's like just the most bananas, like crazy, nonsensical story wrapped on top of it, and I love it. I don't know why, because it's not good. I agree that it's not good, but because
you can tell that they made it because they're like, all right, look, 3 years in a row we got scary space movies winning Oscars. We got Gravity, scary space movie part 1. We got Interstellar, that's scary space movie part 2. We got The Martian. That's Scary Space Movie Part 3. It's like we make Scary Space Movie Part 4. Like, we're gonna win some Oscars.
What if we made this movie and put more sex scenes in it than 50 Shades of Grey? Because they fuck so much in this movie.
Oh my God, they bang. We talked about it when we were talking about top 5 scenes of the year, but there is a back-to-back sex scene where they bang, and then it's the next day, and then they bang, and then I think there's a buffer scene that's like 30 seconds, and then they bang again.
Yes, there is. And I was thinking about this on like a film criticism level, like a you know, back in the 20s, like Sergei Eisenstein of Russia making his montage type films. He invented montage basically. Yeah. So that's like close to 100 years of buildup to this very moment where they perfected montage, Chadley. They've perfected montage by doing the double bang scene. And it's like, it is 2 different scenes. That's what's crazy about it, is it's 2 different scenes, but they fucking both of them.
And I don't think there's any dialogue between the two, like between the bang. There's not a lick of dialogue between it. It's like they bang. Now it's a new scene. They do like 3 seconds of eye contact, and it's like, oh, they're going again. All right. I mean,
I hope Sergei Eisenstein is fucking rolling in his grave for creating montage, because this is the most perfect use of it, and it was in Passengers.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so let's actually talk about this movie. Okay, so he wakes up Jennifer Lawrence, and then they immediately start dating, and they bang for like, I swear to God, like what feels like an hour. They're just banging. Here's the problem. Here's the first problem, is that this movie is told from the perspective of Chris Pratt. He is the protagonist, and he shouldn't be.
Yeah, he is a shitty person.
He's a shitty guy, but like what I'm trying to say is I think this movie would have been better if it was told from Jennifer Lawrence's point of view. And here is why. Because I would love to learn things as Jennifer Lawrence learns things. There's a scene late in the movie where Jennifer Lawrence doesn't know that Chris Pratt woke her up, but we as the audience, we all know. But then Michael Sheen is like, oh, he debated for months whether or not he wanted to wake you up. And
when you can see in Michael Shannon's eyes as he turns the corner to be the antagonist of the film, you're like, oh shit.
Michael Sheen. You said Michael Shannon, who we hate.
I just don't correct me on shit. I'm always going to be wrong about names. It doesn't matter.
But like when Michael Sheen says that line, I was like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh shit, he told them. But if I was if I didn't know that happened and Michael Sheen said that, I'd be like, oh fuck, he woke her up. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's called a good reveal. But yeah, because this is the most trite film of all time, they go the route of explaining everything to you as it happens. Like you're the dumbest person alive, and that you're on this ship with Chris Pratt, who is not smart, and they assume you are as smart as Chris Pratt along for this ride.
Yeah, they really talk down to you. They basically, they don't want you to miss anything, and they think that if they do a reveal like that, perhaps you're gonna miss exactly what's going down.
It's the most offensive type of sci-fi. It's and that is why I love it, though, because it's like it is not supposed, like, they wrote this movie 100% seriously, but it's like a parody of a sci-fi, and that's
it's why an SNL skit.
Like, it's an SNL skit. We'll talk about that once we get to 50 Shades of Grey. But I love these movies that are 100% serious that seem like an SNL skit. La La Land. You watch the trailer for La La Land and you're like, oh, is that an SNL skit making fun of fucking like a musical or something? No, that's the actual trailer. Like, it's happening more often now. It's happening more often now that like we've run out of like trying new things. We're going back to trying like fucking trite shit, and I can't believe like how much I love it, because it's ridiculous. Yeah. Like people trying 100% to, like, we'll talk about this once we get to Chronicles of Riddick, but people trying 100% on something that is preposterous like warms my heart for some reason.
Yeah, because like the thing is like they know it's stupid, but they're still gonna go hundo. It's like Liam Neeson reading the script for like Taken. He's like, all right, this is obviously bullshit, but like I'm gonna go 100% on this. You know?
I want to believe that like that's something that Liam Neeson thinks actually happened to him in his life.
Yeah, exactly. And like, here's the thing: is that none of the actors in this movie are like astoundingly good in this movie. I mean, I think Jennifer Lawrence is an amazing actress. I think Chris Pratt is pretty good as well. But like, this is one of those movies where the writers seem to be trying 100%. And like Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence are just ruining it for everybody by not giving a shit. They don't care, dude.
Oh, if they would have had Vin Diesel dedication to this movie, I think it would have been awesome because it would have been like campy as fuck and like ridiculous.
Yeah,
because it already is ridiculous. So, like,
at the end, it's like dedicated to the memory of Vin Diesel. He's not even dead. He's not even dead.
That's the shit I want to believe. I want to believe. All right, this is movie magic. Let me believe.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, at about the probably hour and 40, maybe hour and a half mark, Jennifer Lawrence Fishburne just rolls up, and he's just kind of there to be like, oh, yeah, the ship is broken, and here's how you fix it, and then they do.
Only to be a magical black man to explain some stuff and then immediately die.
Yeah, he came in, he told them how to fix this thing, and then he died. It's like, ooh, what?
Immediately, that resolves the conflict, and it's like, okay, like because it is an interesting idea to have this spaceship.
Yeah, I like the idea.
Slowly decaying, and you're like leading up to a big climax. But when the climax is deflated before it happens, okay, and then you get to the point where Chris Pratt has to sacrifice his life to save the ship and these 5,000 other people, and then it doesn't really matter because he's fine. They didn't even commit to that.
I have a really big problem with this movie, and this is probably my biggest problem with the movie, is that at some point they show you that there's like this medicinal pod, you know, like the pod you go in, and then like it's like a doctor, and like it can scan you and be like, here's what's wrong with you. I'm fixing it as we speak. You know the pod? Okay,
yeah,
well,
I know the pod.
Late in the movie, they discover that the pod can actually be used to put one of the characters into cryostasis or whatever. And they're like, only one of us can go in, though, because there's one pod. And that leads me to the question, hey, didn't you say there was 5,000 people on the ship? Why is there one doctor pod? Why is there one doctor pod?
Yeah, for sure. That's the problem. There's many problems in this movie.
But like, that's the one that blows me away the most. It's like, yeah, okay, sure. Chris Pratt just magically learns how to break open a pod. All right, whatever. All right, that I don't care about. Oh, Lawrence Fishburne just shows up out of nowhere. Okay, what? Jennifer Lawrence just grows to love this person over Stockholm Syndrome. Okay, whatever. And then here's the problem: is that Jennifer Lawrence is mad at him until the very end, and she's like, "Oh, you're the love of my life." It's like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you like 5 minutes later say he ruined your life?
Is the craziest thing I've ever seen in a film. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But there is the problem though that even if there was more medical pods, it wouldn't matter because you have to have someone to put them into it. So
okay, that kind of makes sense. Hey, get Lawrence Fishburne to do it. He's dying anyways.
Yes, that is exactly correct. That is exactly what should happen. And there would be, if this was a realistic film, which it is not, and it doesn't matter, there would be more medical pods, and they could safely put Jennifer Lawrence in there and Chris Pratt, and then Lawrence Fishburne on his deathbed would plug them in, and it would be fine.
Here's another wacky thing about this movie, though, is that this movie is about a journey, like to a destination that we never get to. Like that just seems so crazy to me. It's like they spend the whole time talking about like this new amazing planet they're going to, and even at the end they don't even show us the planet.
Well, that's the point, Chadley. It's the journey. Life is the journey, Chadley. The destination doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't like it. That's dumb.
Because it's trite, Chadley.
Fucking written by a 9-year-old in crayon, like.
Yeah, okay. I don't disagree with you, but that's why I have so much fun with this kind of shit because it's like I'm clearly watching it to make fun of it.
It's like The Room. All right, we'll all watch it. We'll all have a great time.
This is one of those movies that I can see having like a cult following of people that think it's preposterous in like 10 years. And I think that's fine.
Like Top Gun. Top Gun got a crazy following, but the thing is like Top Gun's fan base legitimately believes that it's like the epitome of badassery, and it's like actually that shit's wild, dude. That shit's preposterous.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you,
dude? We
Top Gun's not good, but we love it. No, it's really bad. Unlike The Gray, which is actually a great film.
Yeah, The Gray is fantastic. I don't want to hear no shit
Top
about
Gun
The Gray. Don't fucking at me about The Gray. Get the fuck out of here. The Gray is perfect.
Actually, I would like somebody to at me about The Gray. I don't care what you say. I just like to hear about The Gray in my day-to-day life.
Dude, you know what's pissing me off about Twitter now?
What's that?
Like my Twitter, basically, I just tweet out jokes and they're a statement. They're not, I'm not putting a question mark at the end of that. I'm not driving for interaction like some people where they ask a question like, what's the most ridiculous thing you've ever bought? No, I'm going to make a joke about the most ridiculous thing I ever bought. And I don't need but now because of fucking Trump or something, people feel they need to, they need to at me with all their dumbass opinions on my jokes. You're not punching up my joke. You're just saying a statement about it. Okay.
And the crazy thing is they think they are punching up your joke. I have this same problem. I tweeted a while back and was like, if somebody buys you Batman versus Superman on Blu-ray for Christmas, eject that person from your life. And somebody added me. It's like, that's a gift I would love to receive. First of all, immediate unfollow. Second of all, you are not adding a goddamn thing. Clearly what I said was a joke.
Yeah, that's obviously a joke. I mean, it is true, but like, it obviously is a joke.
Yes.
And you think you're just gonna add some shit to it? You're gonna tag on some shit, and that's what drives me insane about Twitter. Twitter used to be just a place where I could just drop some jokes and everybody understands it's fucking satire. Now people take everything on Twitter 100% serious. Like I'm actually making a comment. Not that, just joke.
Let's throw out an example here.
Sure.
Yesterday at 10 a.m., Buck LeDuc tweeted, I once paid an obscene amount of money to have an artist recreate an original work of LeVar Burton hanging out with the Wu-Tang Clan, to which somebody responded, pics or it didn't happen.
I actually did do that, by the way. I no longer have it, but I have showed Chadley it before.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's a Photoshop of the Wu-Tang Clan hanging out with LeVar Burton. It's real. I actually paid for that, but so it's like I don't have it anymore because I've lost the file and I don't have the poster that I printed out of it. But it is something I really did, and now people are trying to type like. Obviously, it's a bit of. I didn't pay an obscene amount of money. That's the joke.
Yeah, there's the bit. There's the bit. That's the bit.
In case you don't understand that it is a joke, the joke is that I paid an obscene amount of money for something silly. That's the joke.
Here's another one. Here's another one that I just dug up. Buck LeDuc tweets, "What are you doing tonight?" And then there's a picture of a guy playing the accordion for cats. Clearly, that's a joke. There you go. That's a joke right there, right? And someone tweets at him. Never has a tweet captured my being so well. What the fuck? Why? What does that add? Does that make the joke funnier? I don't think so.
Oh, that's some sort of broad statement about something or other. Just how about you just like my jokes and move on from that shit?
Yeah. Hit a like. Hell, if you like it that much, throw a retweet out.
Toss a retweet my way.
It captured this person's life so well, and yet they didn't retweet it.
I'm not even sure if they faved it, honestly.
Let's take a look. No, they faved, but they did not retweet. It's like, if it captures your life, retweet it. Like, you dumb shit. Learn how to use Twitter. It's all jokes. If somebody's using Twitter for fucking PR purposes, fuck yourself, because it is all jokes.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my rant on Twitter. Follow me at Last Cool Dude.
Cool. Yeah, man, I did not realize that I was going to get that blood red mad about that when you started going about that, because you are right. People do that all the time.
Well, I just don't want people to punch up my jokes. Like I like, if I'll ask you to help me write or punch up. Like if I pitch you a joke, right?
Yeah.
And then you have a good tag for it, maybe I'll use it. But I don't want to like tweet a finished joke and then people punch that up. Already finished.
But they don't even punch it up. They just say generic internet sentences like pics or it didn't happen. I feel like I heard like 9,000 people post that on Facebook. Like that's not part of the joke,
Yeah,
Either way,
that might be a bad example, but like some people do punch up my jokes, and that drives me bananas. Like they're trying to add to it and shit. I'm like, okay, well, it's already completed, so go fuck yourself.
Please don't touch my jokes. So in the movie Passengers, we mentioned there is probably a straight 40-minute segment. It's a 40-minute montage of them banging. It's absolutely bananas. So Buck LeDuc and I are like, man, in the spirit of all the banging that's going around, top 5 scenes in films where people bang each other.
Absolutely. Would you like to go first, Chadley?
No, why don't you kick it off?
All right, I get to go first every week now. That's fine. My number 5 is Jason Statham in Crank, where he has to fuck a girl to make sure his heart doesn't stop. Insane. That's bananas.
Shit, dude. I forgot about that one. Holy shit. That is absolutely a lot of the stuff on my list is just because it's bananas. But yeah, I forgot that one's really insane.
Oh, really? Someone wrote that? You're my hero, because that's crazy.
Yeah, you had to pitch that to somebody. You had to pitch that to an executive, and they approved it. That's insanity. My number 5. This is just because I think both these people, especially back in the 90s, mad hot people. I love seeing 5'9" Tom Cruise banging like 6'2" Nicole Kidman. 10 out of 10.
He's really small.
The best part about this, though, is that those two people went on to bang like a ton in real life after the movie was filmed. Yeah. It's like my favorite part. They banged so much, dude.
Yeah. What film was that from? You never even mentioned it.
Oh, that is from Eyes Wide Shut, the
Stanley Kubrick classic.
The Stanley Kubrick classic, dude. What a great film. 90s, just porno, just like absolute porno of a film. It's fantastic.
Yeah. That's filth, and that's why I love it.
It's like The Handmaiden.
Yeah, it's like The Handmaiden. That's just filth, and that's why it's good. My number 4, Patrick Bateman in American Psycho. We got our boy Christian Bale looking in the mirror while he's fucking and flexing. I think he invented that, because now I see that all the time, like as fucking jokes, like as punchlines.
Yeah, but like I also think there's people who do that as not a joke too, which is awesome. Which is more.
There are people that legitimately watch American Psycho 100% serious. So the same people that watch Fight Club 100% serious. That blows my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. What? They're the same person? That's clearly the words of a madman right there. That's the musings of a crazy person. Mm-hmm. My number 4. Hey, Buck, you ever bang a ghost? Because
sure haven't.
In the movie Ghost, Patrick Swayze is a ghost, and he bangs
Patrick
a human
Swayze's good at banging. He's good at banging.
He's good at banging, even when he's not alive and the girl is alive. I don't remember who the girl is, but Patrick Swayze bangs a girl while he's a ghost. It's crazy. It's crazy, dude. It's absolutely phenomenal.
That's pretty bananas, which leads me into my number 3. Little film called Demolition Man, where they have the VR sex scene, which is our future. So
shit, that's right. VR fucking, that's right.
Completely crazy. Completely insane.
Man. With Oculus Rift and like HTC Vive, that's
what's crazy about that is the goggles he puts on looks like an Oculus Rift. It's like, what the fuck?
Actually, you know what? I bet you this already exists. I bet you there is already VR fucking games. There's gotta be, right? True. Yeah, it's Steam. Steam has a lot of weird shit on. I bet you there's some VR fucking games on there.
Absolutely.
My number 3. I put this on here because this one is purposely bananas. This is the Michael Cera drunk as hell with Isabella McIsaac in the movie Superbad.
Sure.
Drunk as fuck. They actually don't even end up banging. They just get drunk as hell, start banging, and then start throwing up on each other, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. My number 2. Puppet Finger.
Puppet Finger!
In Anomalisa, the only puppet finger that matters.
I thought you were going to say Team America, because I know there's Puppet Finger in that one, too.
Not as good though. Like
Yeah, it's
if
true.
you've seen Anomalisa, that's the best puppet fuck scene of all time. So it has to
the
make my
crazy,
list because
the
it's
crazy thing.
bizarre.
The crazy thing about Anomalisa is that like they do a puppet sex scene, but they're 100% serious about it.
Yeah, they
That's
play it. Well, that's why that movie's good, I think. It's because they play everything 100% serious, and it's an
as if
acid
it's
movie.
not puppets. As if it's not puppets. Like at some point they're like, man, you know what? At some point that wasn't supposed to be a puppet movie, and then they're like, man, we should make this puppets, and like that decision made that movie 30 times better.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we're just gonna have like completely different lists, man. I love it. We're talking about all the people banging. Of course, we couldn't talk about bang scenes without mentioning my boy James Bond. We talked we
Absolutely.
talked about this like 4 years ago now, but there's an amazing scene in the movie Moonraker where James Bond is banging a lady in space, and then like the US, like he's banging like the Russian ambassador, and then the US like turns on like the video cam and they're like, James, what are you doing? And he's like, working on our fucking domestic relations. He closes the curtain and bangs a lady in space. Like,
That's pretty good, dude. That's pretty good.
Just like Passengers, I just like it when people are fucking in space. That's all I care about.
My number one, this is my favorite sex scene in any movie. We know our boy Patrick Swayze is good at fucking. This is Roadhouse. I'll set this up for you for a little bit if you've never seen Roadhouse. Basically, Patrick Swayze goes to this town to be an ultimate bouncer, and there is a bad guy that wants to buy the pub, or I don't really remember. It's been a while since I've seen it, but he lives across the river from the house, from the barn actually, that Patrick Swayze rents out. And there's a scene where he's fucking the girl in the window of the barn, and the buddies across. There's two sex scenes actually, and in one of them, the guy across the road in his mansion has a mimosa, and he like cheers him as he's fucking him, as he's fucking the girl. And then in the second sex scene, same thing. They're at the window fucking, and Buddy rolls up on an ATV and like gives him the thumbs up, and he's the bad guy. It's so bizarre. It's hilarious.
He's like, look, I may not like you, but like, hey, my number one. As soon as I say my number one, you're going to go, oh, shit, how did I forget that? That's the wackiest sex scene of all time. My number one's from a little movie called Drive Angry, baby.
Ooh, yeah,
Drive Angry. There's a part in Drive Angry where Nicolas Cage is banging some slut that he just picked up, just like some barn hoe, right? Like, and he's just raw dogging her. And then these motherfuckers bust into his hotel room, and he stands up while still in this woman and starts shooting people all the while, and like jumping around the room all the while still in the woman. It's so great.
Yeah, that is definitely the most hilarious sex scene of all time.
Yeah.
That is great.
I'm glad that we got it. I'm glad that we fit it into our schedule today.
Yeah,
I'm glad we could talk about Nicolas Cage double banging.
Another one that I laughed harder than I was supposed to was in Zack Snyder's Watchmen, when
the Leonard Cohen,
the Hallelujah fucking sex scene in the owl head where fucking Owl Man's fucking banging Silk Spectre, and it's like you. I think there's like corner of finger because it's Zack Snyder, so like he's not gonna show it, but he'll show like the edge of it.
Yeah, I'll show some of it.
That movie is fucking hilarious, and you're not supposed to laugh at that. You're supposed to take Zack Snyder's work 100% serious, so that's why it's hilarious.
You're supposed to be deeply moved by Malin Ackerman and Patrick Stewart's union, but we don't care. Hey, Zack Snyder, how come Zack Snyder can show full on blue wiener for like 90% of that movie, and there's no fucking Patrick Stewart witch? That's my question. Patrick Wilson? Yeah, what did I say? Patrick Stewart? Oh, dude, but Patrick Stewart witch would be good too. I wouldn't be.
That would be good.
You think? Look, Logan is a hard R. Do you think that movie's gonna have Patrick Stewart witch finger?
I heard there's no finger.
Oh, there's no finger.
I've heard reports that there is no finger.
Dude, there's not even like a part where like Wolverine cuts off a fucking extras witch finger. Like, you couldn't fit that in.
Mm-mm. We're too scared. We're still too scared as a nation to have finger in movies. Try to disagree with.
I think it's preposterous that Zack Snyder of all people is the only person with enough courage to put witch finger in a superhero.
That's crazy
movie.
that Zack Snyder is a progressive.
Yeah,
I would never say that.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at Batman versus Superman, it's like, okay, this guy's just seen some movies recently and he's just trying to make those same movies again. But then you look at Watchmen, which actually I kind of like Watchmen. I actually think
Watchmen is good. I think Watchmen
Watchmen's
is
pretty
awesome.
good. Watchmen's pretty good. I also like one. I also what is that 300? That Zack Snyder movie. I think that one's pretty good.
300 is
But
not very good, but
yeah, I think it's all right.
I understand why dudes like it.
It's just like the male fantasy, dude. It's just like
Homoeroticism.
yeah, just Gerard Butler wearing fucking. He's not even wearing pants. Like the whole movie, he's not wearing any clothing the whole movie. And these dudes are like, "This is the manliest movie ever." And it's like, I think I might have an argument against that.
Those weird inbred fucking guys that rape all those girls. Pretty cool.
Oh
right?
yeah. Dude, remember when the Hunchback gets laid? That's craziness. Why would you show that to me? Why would you show that to me?
He's got that. He's got those fucking black teeth, and he's eating out that girl.
Ew, gross, sick. What the fuck, Zack Snyder? Throw that one out. I can't believe they made a sequel. I can't believe they made how come they made a sequel to that movie and yet they never made a movie about the before Watchmen fucking comic series? Give me that movie. I don't give a shit. That movie's way better. Did it?
Nobody likes Watchmen.
Hey,
we're the only people in the world that like Watchmen.
Maybe the reason nobody liked Watchmen is because it's 195 minutes.
Yeah, maybe.
It is 100 minutes more than it should be. It is way too long. You want to talk about Vin Diesel?
Yeah, of course I want to talk about Vin Diesel. Osama Vin Diesel.
Yeah, Osama Vin Diesel. The Vin Diesel code. This movie is Chronicles of Riddick, and about 5 minutes into this movie, I'm like, oh shit, maybe this isn't as good as I remember from when I was a kid. And then Vin Diesel delivers a line within the first 5 minutes that makes me go, oh yeah, no, this is just as good as I thought it is.
Sure.
And I was going to mention it anyways. And then you texted me it in the middle of the night when he's like, you came light. 4-man crew for me? Fucking insulting. And I'm like,
it's the best line of all time, maybe. It's so good.
It's maybe rivaled only by the last line of the entire movie. I watched this movie last night, and this movie was not received well, and that is utterly confusing to me because this movie is awesome.
Dude, they went from a crazy low budget horror into an insane classic sci-fi fantasy
with really good world building. Can we talk about the world building in this movie?
Absolutely.
I believe everything that is being said in this movie. It's like,
dude, this is one of those movies where it's the opposite of what Jupiter Ascending was trying to achieve and failed miserably.
How is this so good? So essentially, this movie is about. I think at some points it's a bit confusing, but like not terribly so. Like you could still follow easily. So essentially, Vin Diesel's character, named Riddick. Oh, actually, might as well just say Riddick because Vin Diesel is Riddick. I'm pretty sure he is Riddick, and he's positive that he is Riddick. Yeah. But Vin Diesel has a bounty on his head, basically put out by this crazy cult. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna infiltrate this crazy cult and murder their leader. That's the plot of the movie, and it's insane. Like, it's insane. The first, 15-20 minutes is like, okay, this is just gonna be Vin Diesel running around for a little bit and, for a while through this town, and that's really all this movie's gonna be. It's just gonna be, crazy action. By the way, 2004, how does this movie look this good?
There's a lot there. I don't think everything works, but there's a lot of really good special effects in this.
Yeah, absolutely. All of it looks real. There is one part where I was like, that CG is not very good. And it's when they go to the prison planet of Crematoria and they're going through the mine cart. That mine cart that was some shiny CG. That did not look good. It didn't move right. It didn't look quite right.
Now, we talked about this last week, but the reason why this movie works so well is Vin Diesel is Richard B. Riddick. And this is not like Daniel Day-Lewis where he's in character. Vin Diesel legitimately believes that this movie is what I would
real.
comprises of events that really happened to him. Like this film is a documentary comprising of events that actually happened to him, Vin Diesel, Riddick the man.
Yeah, absolutely. Vin Diesel. I like that we call him Vin Diesel Riddick because that is his full name now. But like you see him in Fast and Furious and you're like, all right, yeah, he's pretty good. And then you see him in like, I mean, like he's not great, but he's all right. Then you see him in this and you're like, whoa, this dude is the best actor on the planet in only this.
Yeah, it is that thing where I wonder if he's like so bad that it rounds around to 11 because like he is Riddick. Like I cannot imagine anyone else playing this character. Vin Diesel embodies this character.
And if he did, like, honestly, like, it's not like you see him in like Triple X too, and it's like, okay, that guy's clearly acting.
Yeah,
he's
acting as a special agent or whatever the fuck he is in that movie.
But Vin Diesel thinks he's an alien man with goggles. Like he believes he's got the crazy eyes. I was actually doing some reading up about this franchise, and I guess when they were filming Pitch Black, the first time they ever used like the contact lenses, they got stuck. They got stuck in there, but they're filming in the middle of the fucking desert. So they had to get like a copter. They had to get a helicopter to bring an optometrist in from the city. And it took like 4 hours with these things stuck in his eyeballs.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude, that's some crazy shit.
I love it. I love it so much. There's a lot of like wild characters in this too, which I like Carl Urban.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go next. Yeah, Carl Urban. Hey, that dude's been amazing since he started acting, and at this point, nobody cared.
No one gives a shit, and and like still no one gives a shit, which is crazy because like he's so good in everything. Like go watch an episode of the original Star Trek and then watch the new Star Trek. It's the same guy, which is that's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like the rest of the cast of the new Star Trek, whatever. But that dude, it's the same fucking guy.
They're like, we got another Asian guy to play Sulu, and it's like, yeah, but wrong kind of Asian. The other guy was Japanese. Like,
and then you see Carl Urban in Dredd, and everybody's like, oh well, he's got 2 lines. But he's still like one of the best actors on the planet in that movie. And he doesn't even have lines. You know how hard that is?
You know what's crazy is that like when I was watching, we were talking about this last podcast. I recently have been watching some of the Lord of the Rings movies. When I was watching The Two Towers, literally every second was me like, when's Carl Urban coming back? Like
he's the best.
Dude, he's so great. He's so great and nobody cares. He is awesome in this movie.
For everything. Every movie we make, we need to hire that bitch because he got to be cheap because no one knows. It seems like
no one. Let's get him and let's get The Rock because I feel like we could get both. Although I think the world is coming around on The Rock. He might get
the world has come around on The Rock. I bet he's expensive. He's the highest paid actor.
Yeah, in fact, yeah, actually, he is 100% the highest paid actor of 2016. I forgot about that, so I'm sorry. You're right. He is not a cheap man. He's out of our price range now, which is unfortunate because he was signed on, but broke contract, paid to get out of the contract, but can't talk too much about it. But God bless the man. We still love him. We still hang out with him, have some brews. But
I'm pretty sure James Gunn has seen this movie because that prison is like straight lifted into Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah. Holy shit. Yeah, it is. You're right. Absolutely.
I think I mentioned this at some point, maybe not during the Guardians of the Galaxy episode, but I did watch Chronicles of Riddick last year, so I think I brought it up before. But and people call me crazy for thinking this, but I think that prison scene is lifted into Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, no, I'm going to take a wild stab and say I 100% agree with you. Another thing that's crazy in this movie is that Carl Urban has like the Macklemore haircut going on.
With a ponytail. It's like no one should ever have that, but he rocks it. And you're like, what?
And even the wackier part about it is that this was like 6 years before that haircut was even a thing. So clearly they were like, all right, so sometime in the future, people are gonna want this really stupid looking haircut. And then
I would say more like 10 years, dude.
Was it? Yeah, I guess it must have been like 10 years before. Because when was the Macklemore thing? Like 2014, I guess. That sounds about right. And this movie is 2004. Also, Every action scene in this movie is amazing. And it's all because Vin Diesel just loves it, dude. That, like, honestly, Vin Diesel ties this movie together. I think we could scream about it for another 45 minutes, but Vin Diesel ties this whole movie together.
There's a lot of great action scenes, like one where he kills a guy with a teacup. He's like, yo, what are you going to do? Kill me with that soup cup? It's a teacup. Yep. 100% serious. 100% serious. It's a teacup. Dude, this badass. This guy's like 6 feet tall, completely jacked, wearing goggles. Like 100% serious. This dude's wearing goggles and like an armored vest for some reason. And he's like drinking tea. And he's like, oh, you're going to kill me with a soup cup? 100% serious. It's a teacup.
I'm also a huge fan of like when and I've seen a few sci-fi movies do this, but I'm also 100% a fan of when sci-fi movies have what they call prison planets. Cause like, like that's just such a crazy idea to me. It's like, oh, you're just gonna put them on I live on a planet. Like honestly, that doesn't seem like a very like their only punishment is they can't fly in space anymore. You know what? I think I might become a murderer because that doesn't sound like a terrible
planet for sure.
I get to hang out with a bunch of like-minded dudes on a planet. Yeah, for sure. Throw me there.
Fucking that's great shit. Oh man, there's just so much to unpack. Is Dame Judi Dench in this film?
Whoa, holy shit, I forgot Dame Judi Dench was there. Hey, best actress in the world probably, and she's in fucking Riddick. Wait, what? And the crazy thing is, she is 100% the best actress in the world, and yet in the scenes with her and Vin Diesel stands his ground, dude. It's crazy.
Dude, he's acting 1-to-1 with Judi Dench. What? Do you think you'd ever say that sentence in your life?
I don't think I'd say that sentence about like maybe any other person ever. Like, honestly, I love Daniel Craig, but you see those scenes in James Bond and you're like, clearly there's a better actor in the room here, and it is Judi Dench. But like Vin Diesel, what?
Yeah, dude, absolutely bananas. I also love the design of some of the, and it's all practical too. Some of the weird cult aliens, like those guys that have like the circle mask. Those guys are awesome looking, and like there's a lot of like cool aliens, like, and it's all kind of like it's all World of Warcraft out, so it's like a weird like fucking World of Warcraft cult. It's cool, man. It's really cool.
Like did Vin Diesel do all the design himself for this movie?
He may have. That's what's crazy about it. Like this movie feels like he made this movie before that fucking Lich King story came out, and it's the same thing. Like it's like a dude like taking over an old cult and becoming the king, and he becomes the king of this fucking thing.
I wanted to talk about that too. Is that like I watched this at, I don't know what time. It was like really late last night, and I was like drifting near the end, and then like they all start bowing to him, and he's like, you get what you kill. And then the movie ends, and I was out of my seat, and I was like, oh, he's the fucking, does this have the same ending as Conker's Bad Fur Day? That's the fucking craziest thing I've ever seen.
Dude, there are like pretty like 3 distinct acts, and I like all of them separately. But I like the prison scene the most, but I also like them when they're running through this planet that's about to like start on fire. I think that's great stuff. That's a really fun scene. And then like it goes into like a 4th act where where he's like on the ship killing all these fucking badasses. Like that guy that plays the Overlord Emperor, that guy's awesome too.
Yeah, Lord Marshall. Yeah, Colm Fior, I think his name is.
Yeah, that guy's awesome.
He's awesome. And what's crazy and best about that scene is that is a really long fight scene between him and Vin Diesel, and it's endlessly entertaining. Like it's one of the most entertaining fight scenes I've ever seen. I think I could watch that again like a day and still have as much fun.
Yeah, I completely love this film, and like it is baffling that it does have a cult following now, and there's a lot of people that like this movie, but when it came out, this did terrible. That's why they couldn't even make the 3rd one.
Yeah, I'm glad we decided to watch these movies, because I haven't seen 1 or 3, and it had been a while since I'd seen number 2. So I'm really glad that
I didn't remember the start of this one very much, but I do remember the last couple acts pretty well.
I did watch
recently.
Yeah, I think Chronicle. I think the last time I watched Chronicles of Riddick, I rented it from Blockbuster. Like it was that long ago. Like it was a while back.
Holy shit. I was writing a joke about this the other day, but I'm glad Blockbuster doesn't exist anymore because I would literally never stop working there if it was still a thing.
Well, like the problem with working at Blockbuster, I think, is like if somebody comes up and they're like, "Hi, I'd like to rent me before you," I would feel inclined to stop them.
Well, that's not why I would be doing it. I would be doing it to have access to that much film. But now I guess it doesn't really matter because Netflix.
Hey, you could work for Redbox.
That's true.
You could be a Redbox machine. I believe in that. I truly,
I could program a Redbox machine better than a fucking Redbox machine. That's for sure.
dude, just fucking make a new one and then pitch it to the Redbox. Pitch it to Redbox people. It's like, look, I saw what you guys had going, and it works like shit.
But it's a little 2005 technology. How about this? This one, you know what I would want to? I would want to write a Redbox machine that burns a disk, right? And that you can load to a USB drive and then it destroys itself. That's what you want. Because like right now they have to load them with DVDs, right? What if we just had destructible DVDs that it printed out and then you don't have to return it? It just blows. It just breaks after 3 nights or whatever.
Yeah, or like it puts a lock so you can only watch the movie once and then it locks it up.
Sure.
Like you can rewind and fast forward as much as you want, but
because like nobody gives a shit about discs. How about I put one of my USB drive in there and then it writes a film to it that you can watch once? How about that? Yeah, that's a great idea.
Hey, we've already got this technology on like fucking PlayStation Store and like what is it, video on demand and shit. So like
that might have been a problem when it took like fucking like 10 minutes to write something to a USB drive, but now you can write a gigabyte in like a minute.
Yeah.
So who cares?
Yeah, who gives a shit? Hey, you're going to complain about the line at the Redbox? Because I've never seen someone use one of those things. So, but they might if we fixed it up, you know, if we could punch up the Redbox machines, I think.
Absolutely.
We're putting off the inevitable. Want to talk about 50 Shades Darker?
Yes.
Okay, so 50 Shades of Grey is one of the worst movies that came out that year. I think that was 2015, a couple of years ago. We talked about it on the show, and it's crazy how much worse the second one is.
Oh yeah, this one's not even a movie. That's what's crazy about it.
They didn't even attempt. They didn't even try to write a movie with this one. Because here's what's I'm gonna explain the plot of this. I tried to take notes. I had to shred them because they stopped making sense at some point. But I'm going to explain the plot of this movie to you in 20 seconds. So at the end of the last movie, they break up because he's being like really, really abusive. You know, he's this abusive asshole. Then at the beginning of this movie, he's like, hey, I promise to be better and let's get back together. And then they do. And then you just watch them have an amazing, great relationship for the rest of the movie. That's it. That's everything that goes on in this flick.
Dude, this is like one of the most bananas things because like maybe I'm way off on this, but like they make you like they make Christian Grey like he's terrible, he's humorless. They mention in the movie he's a humorless, uninteresting person, and this is a movie about people lusting after this character who is he's a billionaire. That's his thing. That's his gimmick. He's not interesting. He doesn't have a sense of humor, and he wants to beat the shit out of women
at all times and jerk off to it.
And here's the thing. People like women love this. So that's why I feel like I'm off base. Cause like I've went my whole life being like, I'm not very cool, but like if you talk to me for 8 minutes, it's going to be the funniest thing you've ever heard.
Yeah, apparently not. Pretty nice guy, yeah.
Apparently, you just have to be a billionaire, and then everyone wants to fuck you,
wish to harm.
Yeah,
and people want to fuck you endlessly because this one is no longer about like her trying to decide whether or not she wants to be with him. It's her like fending off like hordes of women that are also trying to fuck this guy.
This is where like I think it could have been interesting, where in the last one, he's the master and she is the slave to him. In this one, it tries to circle around like where she becomes the master, but they don't explore that at all. Like that is, in my opinion, if you're looking at a script, right, and you're like, okay, this was the first one, He's the master, she's the slave, and whatever. This one, okay, let's do the 180. That's classic script writing, right?
Yeah.
That's script writing 101. If
That's
you're making
22
a sequel.
Jump Street. That's 22
Yes.
Jump Street.
Flip the roles, and they hint at that towards the end that's what's happening. That she is now in control, but they never explore it.
Yeah,
they don't explore anything in this movie.
They don't. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. They don't explore. But here's actually the crazy part is that in the first movie, Christian Grey is clearly the antagonist, and he is treated as such, like he's a bad dude. Yes. But in this movie, they treat him as the protagonist, but they don't change his personality at all. He's still just as shitty.
They put him in constant hero situations, which is baffling.
Yeah, and here's how they make him the protagonist is that they have another character who is the antagonist who's like a rapist, and he tries to rape the girl, and then like it's almost as if the screenwriter's like, he beats the shit out of people, but at least he ain't raping. It's like, okay, what?
That's one of the conflicts. They also have one of his former slaves try and shoot whatever that girl's name is, Anastasia Steele,
the fakest name of all time.
Yeah, it's the fakest name. That's like one of our names. Like it's clearly fake.
Yeah, Charles Fox. Come on, what the fuck?
With the Buckley Duke. That's not
Buckley Duke. Yeah. I think last time we went to a bar, you told the bouncer your name was actually Last Cool Dude, and he let you in.
Well, I have changed my actual name to my Twitter handle as a joke many times, but
so you at least have like an old ID kicking around that says Last Cool Dude on it, so he can't argue.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's like it's so. And then there's like the old lady that like you taught me how to fuck, lady, and it's like what is this?
I also want to throw this out here. Like, did Kim Basinger have just like some really bad years? Because man, she was the hottest person on the planet, and now she is not looking good.
Old dude.
Really old. But it's not just old. She looks like decrepit, dude. She looks fucking hideous now. And she was the hottest person on the planet. What happened to her? Also, Marcia Gay Harden, you don't gotta be in this. You're a good actress. Why you in this?
Why you in this?
Why in this?
Now, there's a couple of things that I'm very confused about. So in this movie, they go to Christian Grey's parents' giant mansion a handful of times, right? They have a ball there. They have his party there. And then they go to his bedroom, which is smaller than my bedroom. What?
Yeah. Actually, I took note of that as well. But he did have a Chronicles of Riddick poster, which God bless.
I guess we're Time Lords. He also had some fucking old UFC posters on the wall, which like that explains a lot to me. That's hilarious. Because in this universe, Christian Grey would be a big Joe Rogan fan.
Yeah, he's got to be, right?
Because anytime you show a UFC poster, that means that in your fictional universe, Joe Rogan exists as a person. That's crazy. That's hilarious.
Yeah. I also want to talk about Jamie Dornan for a second because I don't think that guy's acted a day in his life.
Oh, dude, the acting is insane in this movie. Now, this one actually feels like an SNL skit the entire time because it's like stilted acting that like clearly they're not trying or something. I don't know.
They clearly don't give a shit. Dakota Johnson isn't an actress. I've come to realize this. I'm pretty sure she is not an actress.
No.
Here's another crazy part about this movie, okay? Because I think I could scream about this for a really long time, but there's another crazy thing about this movie. There's actually a scene in this movie where they're having an argument because he's done something shitty, and they're like arguing about it, and then he tries to fuck her, and she's like, no, we're gonna talk about this. We're not just gonna drop this and bang. And then they drop it and bang, and then it never comes up again.
Dude,
there's like this. The part where he's like, I want you to let me do whatever I want. Like, I want to own you. And she's like saying that that's not okay. And then he fucks her and they never talk about it again.
Dude, you know what's crazy about this movie is like, you're going to franchise this smut and not show a single penis? Are you crazy?
Oh my God. Oh wait. All right. You show Dakota Johnson's tits. All right. Look, I'm kind of grateful for that one. Cause not too mad at it. But there's no finger? You're gonna show
You're
that
not even
much
gonna
tit?
you're not even gonna show the size, the profile of a fucking finger. What?
Is
That's
this dude a
crazy.
Ken doll?
That's crazy to me that you could franchise this and be like, no, we're not showing a single penis in this.
Yeah,
Blows my mind.
and the crazier part is that the target demographic is women. Show a dick. Show a dick.
Like how bad is this? What's his name?
Jamie Dorman.
How bad is his dick that they're like, we can't show it? Like,
yo, stunt finger. There's lots of dudes who are like, I'm down to do stunt finger.
yeah, no,
And
I agree.
Jamie
like,
Dornan is shaped like a regular human being, so there's 5,000 stunt fingers that are glad to step in.
Yeah, that's crazy. That brings me to the one thing that I like about this movie. I think the soundtrack is actually awesome. And there's a lot of scenes where there's like, it's like a montage. It's like a music video. It's like they're filming a music video on like some sort of good pop song.
The one that's like, there's a really good song. I don't remember what song it is, but there's like a really good song. But like the entire like 4-minute duration of the song, it's just like fucking shots of his boat. And it's like,
dude, I was losing my mind. It's like this pop song in the background, and he's teaching her how to drive, and it's just like 4 minutes of shots of the profile of the boat and like the fucking sunrise and shit. And I'm like, yo, this is awesome. Like, what the fuck is this movie? Like, is this movie directed by like a music video director? Because it feels like it.
Yeah. Oh fuck, man. Like it's just absolutely bonkers. It's crazy to me. Then we got, okay, so she gets almost raped by her boss, at which point the boss just like disappears, and then he just shows up at the end of the movie for no reason. Yeah, like he just shows up again in the movie, fucking no reason. And then what's her name? Kim Basinger shows up at the end of the movie again for no reason. She says a rude thing, and then they're like, "Get the fuck out of my house," and she's like, "All right, I'm out."
Well, yeah, the ending's insane. But before that, there's also another scene that I love because it's bananas. It's just Christian Grey flying a helicopter and crashing it, and then being completely fine, and they don't even
Yeah, they're like, there's like sitting in a room being like, oh my God, is he okay? Dude just strolls in like nothing happened.
Dude walks in. Then my favorite line in the movie where the dude's on the phone, he's like, oh yeah, he just walked in. He looks like shit, but he's here. And he's like, I don't look like shit. It's like, what are you talking about?
Does Christian Grey, do you think Christian Grey knew he got in a helicopter accident?
I don't think
or is that what he think landing is like...
And then like a day later or whatever, they have his birthday party, and then he's like, me and this lady over here got in a helicopter accident. She's fine. Like, he's bruised up a bit, but she's fine.
But no, here's the craziest part about this stupid scene is that as Christian Grey is walking in, you can hear the TV go, breaking news, Christian Grey has been found. It's like, clearly that's not breaking news. That obviously happened like an hour ago if he had time to fucking go home. Like, what?
Yeah, that's insanity.
And if the news in Seattle is an hour behind what's actually going on, why were they even watching it? It's crazy.
Now, here's something that I've pondered while I was watching this. Me and Chadley are not ones to not sell out. In fact, we love selling out. It's our favorite thing. Now, if we were tasked to write a spin-off film, I would want to do it on the man Butler Taylor, because that guy is fucking awesome. I love that guy.
That guy's pretty good. He just all he does is he one punches people. That's like all he does. It's the greatest. But if I were to write a spin-off, you know who I'd want to do it on? I'd want to do it on like a movie that takes place like 20 years previous that shows the Kim Basinger character teaching a bunch of young dudes how to fuck people.
Oh, that's pretty good too.
That's pretty good.
You know, it's like, because everybody in this movie is basically terrible. And then there's like the rapist guy who's like actually pretty good. Like, I was shocked. Like, he's like actually a good actor. I'm like, what? This guy's a convincing rapist.
Passable. Yeah, I'm sure seems like a rapist to me. But then again, Christian Grey kind of seems like a rapist to me too.
Oh, that guy seems like he murders people. Like he's like, like he's American Psycho, but like they're playing it like he's a good guy.
Here's something that I want to get on the table right now is that Buckley Duke and I we're talking about all these events that take place in this movie, and we're almost making it sound like anything happens in this movie. And I need to assure people nothing happens in this movie.
Yeah, it's a movie.
Absolutely.
It's Seinfeld. It's a movie about nothing but not funny.
The crazy thing is it's literally just like there are like scenes that are just like him and her just like cooking dinner together, and they're like long scenes. It's like, what? I feel like I felt like I was intruding on their relationship. Like I felt like I was intruding on their relationship. They're like, oh, I want to ask you to marry me, and I'm like, should I be here for this? You guys need some privacy. I can get out of here. I can get out of here. I don't need to be here right now. I'm gonna give you guys some minutes to breathe. Like it just really just feels like a regular relationship where we're just pretending the guy didn't rape her a whole bunch, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is interesting. There's nothing really to grasp onto in this film, which is good. There's one more line that I want to mention, because it's so funny. It's while the fucking book publisher is trying to rape her. And like, this is why I think he's good. Cause he delivers this line, like in the most creepy way possible. He's like, I can make you come. And I'm like, yo, this guy's the greatest actor of all time. How the fuck did he pull that off?
Yo, the thing is like, look, here's the thing. You're gonna rape Anastasia Steele, all right? That like clearly that was part of his daily schedule because that just sort of happened for him, right? Mm-hmm. So he's like, all right, part of my daily schedule today, I'm gonna rape Anastasia Steele. Did you consider literally anything before doing that? First of all, her boyfriend is a billionaire who owns the company that you work for, and dude's rolling up as we speak.
Dude's on the way.
Like, are we dumb? His fucking man butler Taylor's down there ready to one punch the shit out of you. Like,
have you seen Taylor on the news? He's punching everybody that gets near him. Like, even if they're not doing anything, Taylor's just punching dudes out.
He's like the Hulk punching Thor at the end of the Avengers.
Was Taylor a fucking Marine? Why the fuck is he punching out everyone in sight?
Why is he a butler?
Is Taylor the man butler a Marine with PTSD? Because he's punching everyone, women and children that get even in 10 feet of Christian Grey. Fucking man butler Taylor's over there punching them in the face. It's hardcore.
And you know what? I think there's one more thing that you and I need to discuss about this movie. We've talked about a lot of things about how terrible this movie is, but there's one thing that we didn't mention. They fuck like crazy in this movie, dude. They fuck so much in this movie. Like, it dwarfs the first movie in fucking... Somebody told me that they fuck way less in this movie. And after watching it, I'm like, how? What? They fuck way more. It's like easily double. Like, it's every other scene. Like, every time they're alone in a room together, she just starts taking off her clothes. I'm like, here we go again.
It comprises maybe half the runtime.
Yeah, the movie's 2 hours too. So it's a long bitch, you know? Like, Jesus, like, there's a lot of banging. None of which, by the way, is appetizing to the eye.
Jesus Christ. I don't know are they making more of these or what's going on?
One more.
What's that one called?
One more. 50 Shades Bigger. I don't know.
50 Shades Girthier.
50 Shades Longer, dude. I don't give a shit what it's called. All I know is that there's one more on the way, and we're gonna be watching it. I didn't even know what this one was. I didn't even know what this one was called until I started watching it.
50 Shades Bigger, Longer, Uncut.
Oh man, and I can't wait for that third movie because holy shit because I was screaming this whole time. I think I messaged you this, but I was taking notes on this movie. But like 20 minutes in, I was like, this is just too bananas for me. I can't deal with this.
I'm not a dom. I'm a sadist. Go
like
fuck
my notes.
yourself.
Yeah, my notes were just nonsensical. They didn't even make sense to me when I read them back to myself. I was like, well, I can't use any of this.
That's pretty much the episode. Yeah. That's I can't believe it exists. It's like both of these movies, even, like Passengers and 50 Shades Darker. I'm like baffled why they exist. One I like, one I absolutely loathe.
Here's the question that I have that I'm actually looking up now is that the first movie that was like a phenomenon, right? Like that movie did well and made a lot of money, but I don't really think that I heard much about this second one. Like I don't think anybody really talked about it, so I'm looking it up. God damn it, it made a lot of money. Shit, like
Of course
lots.
it did. It was released on
So
fucking
much.
Valentine's Day.
Oh, right. That's their gimmick, dude. And that's a good 2 years.
Good fucking
Valentine's Day.
gimmick.
Valentine's Day 2019. We're gonna finish off the we're gonna finish off the 50 Shades saga, dude. It's gonna be
God
crazy.
bless.
Now, next episode. Oh boy, if there was ever an episode you didn't want to miss, it's gonna be this one.
We're changing up the format a bit. This is 2017. We want to shake things up a bit. People love the Liam Neeson fantasy draft, so we're dedicating almost an entire episode to fantasy drafting. We mentioned it last time, the Fast and Furious fantasy draft, where we will be drafting 10 movies each from actors or directors that were involved in any of the Fast and Furious franchise. So.
And then once that's done, we're going to wrap it up. Buck Leduc and I actually made this plan a few months ago. We're going to play movie trivia. We're going to see which of us knows more. We both bought the exact same movie trivia game. We're going to pull cards.
I think Chadley might have me on that one because I can't remember actors at all. So we'll see.
Earlier, you called the robot from Passengers Michael Shannon. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to win. Either way, we'll explain the rules. We'll explain all of this on that podcast. If you want to watch live, it's going to be Sunday, March the 12th sometime. Just watch the Facebook or whatever. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Check us, subscribe on YouTube. We're about to blow that shit up. We're killing it now. We got over 100,000 views on YouTube. Yo, we're killing it.
Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football tomorrow.
Yo, we the new Sunday night. Yo, Punch Nerds is the new Sunday Night Football. That's what's crazy.
Fuck it. Who gives a shit what the Mariners are doing? Check out what those movie Epidemic assholes are up to.
Yeah, we're blowing this shit up. 2017 is our year. This podcast is blowing up. We got ourselves on. We got ourselves a new server. We got ourselves a feed on iTunes. It's all coming our way. Check out all of our shit. I'm Last Cool Dude on Twitter.
I'm Chadley at Chadley the movie on Twitter.